What's up, guys? Uh, Yesterday there were reports that Roy Jones and Anderson Silva were tweeting at each other, talking about being a co-main event to Mayweather McGregor. And I was gonna comment and say, you know what, that's a good idea, and I would that would be great. I'm not a really advocate of either guy continuing to fight, but if it's gonna be an old guy fighting, two guys want to fight each other, hell, why not? It'd be great to see it than never see it. So I was gonna say that was a good idea, but it made me think, what would be a great undercard for Mayweather McGregor? Um, at one time I thought, you know what, it could be like some boxing, it could be some MMA, you know. But if they did that, it would have to be like a ring and an octagon, and I'm not a fan of having both in one arena. Okay, so what I think this event should be, if I was promoting this event, I just kind of came up with some matchups. I think this should be top to bottom, boxing versus MMA. Why not build it around that? And you can take some of the best boxers in MMA, some of the best strikers, and put them in with boxers. Okay, so I thought about the top strikers in MMA, the elite, the guys that we would want to see fight other boxers. Okay, and this is what I came up with. Okay, if it was me, okay, let's say we did a pre-show for this event. This is gonna be a huge pay-per-view. Uh, we would probably have like a 2 hour pre-show. Okay, and on that pre-show, I would give the fans, I would give the world a free fight for everybody to enjoy. Pretty much everybody who's interested is going to get it anyway. But just to whet the appetite, to build anticipation, I would give a free fight on TV for everybody to watch and enjoy. Boxing versus MMA. Okay, now let me just say the three notables that I thought of, but I left off the card because I guess the other guys that I did pick I thought would be better. Okay, I thought about Mighty Mouse. Demetrius Johnson, pound for pound number one in MMA, the guy with super speed. You know, mainly for that reason. Not that he's an excellent boxer. He has knocked out some people. He knocked out Benavidez cold. But just to see that speed in boxing, how he would fare against a boxer, the number one pound for pound fighter in MMA. Thought about him, but I decided to go against him. Okay. The other guy I thought about was Frankie Edgar. Uh, in the second BJ Penn fight, boy, I fell in love with Frankie's boxing. I was like, man, this guy is excellent. He was just a must watch for me after that. The guy has movement, he constantly moves, and he can throw. Okay. He knocked out Gray Maynard. All right, but I left him off. He's kind of an aging fighter at this point, and I thought there were better options. Okay, I don't have his name written down, but another guy that would have been great is Cody Garbrandt. Now, with Cody, he actually was a boxer, amateur boxer, and it would be great to see him throw with a pro boxer. Okay, but I did not include him on this card. Okay, so for my first fight, my opening fight on free TV to get the appetite wet for the pay per view, I would have John Dodson, okay, a guy who is 5'3" with a 66-inch reach, 32 years old. We know John Dodson is super fast and he has one punch KO power. The man has serious power, you know. Uh, I figured he could fight anywhere from a guy at 126 up to 135 in boxing. Okay, I decided to match him against Juan Manuel Lopez, who stands at 5'5" with a 69-inch reach, 33 years old. Okay, now why Juanma? Okay, Juanma is a recognizable name. He is a former world champ who is, I would say, for sure on the decline of his career. He's not at the very end of his career, but he is on the downside. Okay, but he is a former world champ. Okay, and he has been KO'd a number of times. lots of boxing fans, the elitist boxing fans, the boxing snobs, as I said, Max Kellerman was. They believe that any trained boxer guy who boxes all the time would beat an MMA fighter. He has no chance. So the thought to this fight would be that Walmart being a world champ would kick John Dawson's ass. He's just too skilled, too experienced. For a John Dawson. Okay, but as I said, Walmart has been KO'd a number of times in his career. Could he take Dawson's punch? That would be the thing. Could he handle Dawson's speed and could he handle his punch? Okay, so Dawson would have the puncher's chance in the fight. Okay, so I thought that would be a good fight. A world champ against a guy in MMA who is fast and has serious punching power. Okay, I like that fight. That would definitely whet the appetite for the pay-per-view. Okay. This is, by the way, I have 6 fights on this card. Okay, this is a 6-fight event. Okay. Now, I would say I have them mixed up, but I would say the first fight. Well, I don't know. I'm going to say it as I have it written down. Maybe we can change the order later. Okay. I thought this guy MMA would be good for this event. Junior Dos Santos. Okay, former UFC champ, 6'4", 77-inch reach. He was listed as 240 pounds, 33 years old. Okay, I wrote down a list of names. The name I chose for him was Eric Molina. Okay, Eric Molina is 6'4", with a 79-inch reach, so he would have 2 inches in reach on JDS, and he is 34, so he's a year older than JDS. So that is a close matchup when it comes to the numbers. Okay. How would JDS fare against Eric Molina? Would Eric Molina be able to handle JDS's punch and vice versa? Okay, and these fights, I would say the Dodson and the JDS fight, I would say both of those would probably be 6 rounders, 3 minutes per round. Probably. I would say so because these are going to be exhibitions. These are not going to be, world championship level type fights, 12 rounds, 3 minutes per round type fights. Okay. All right. And the next fight on the card is the female fight. Okay. And this is, I think, a big one. I was going to open the card with this one. Okay. Chris Cyborg, the baddest woman in MMA, the greatest of all time, in my opinion, stands 5'8" with a 69-inch reach. I believe she is 30 or 31 years old now. At first, I was putting her against Claressa Shields. Claressa Shields is a super middleweight. She is 21 years old. So I thought, you know what? I was like, maybe Shields might be, that might not be the good matchup, because, she just may naturally be, the bigger, heavier woman. And, with her being young, if Cyborg was to somehow, beat her, how would that affect Claressa's career? Okay, so I went with a name that I have heard of that I am not really familiar with. I have not seen this woman fight. I need to look up some of her footage. I know she has a fight coming up, I believe, this weekend, maybe tonight or tomorrow night. Okay, and that's this Cecilia Brackus. She stands 5'7", so she's an inch shorter than Cyborg. And she fights at welterweight, okay, 147. And we know Cyborg fights at 145 in MMA. So I would say these women are, around the same size, okay. So I think this would be a great matchup. Brackus is undefeated in the boxing. I don't think she has tons of knockouts on her record. I could be wrong. I might not be remembering that right, but this would be a fascinating matchup, okay. And I thought this could open the card. So either the Cyborg fight or the JDS fight would open the card. Okay. Now, the next fight, and this would be the fight before Jones and Silva, okay, would be Anthony Rumble Johnson. He was the number one choice, that he is the guy that I would love to see fight a boxer. With his kind of one-punch KO power, he is infamous for putting guys away in the first round. He hits guys and they get hurt, okay. Anthony Rumble Johnson, who is 6'2", with a 78-inch reach. Okay, I think he's 32 years old. Okay, like I said, I wrote a number of names down. The name that I picked for him is an Asian fighter, a guy who was, I'm pretty sure, past his prime, but he is a former world champ, and that is Samuel Peter. Samuel Peter is 6'2", like Rumble. He has a 77-inch reach, so Rumble would have 1 inch on him, and he is 36 years old. Okay, but again, the boxing snobs, the boxing elitist fans, they say that any boxer could beat any MMA guy in boxing. You know, Peter is a former world champ, even though he may be older, even though he may be on the downside of his career. Hell, according to the boxing elite, he should be able to beat Rumble. You know, so I would like to see that. We have a guy with accolades and credentials going against Anthony Rumble Johnson, who is a knockout artist. Okay, so I would like to see that fight. Uh, this one would probably be either probably 6 rounds, 3 minutes per round. Yeah, or either eight rounds, 2 minutes per round, one or the other. Okay, and then of course after that we would have Roy Jones against Anderson Silva in main event Mayweather versus McGregor. Okay, that would be my card. All right, and the other names that I wrote down, the boxers that I did not choose, was Charles Martin, who is 6'5" with an 80-inch reach, 30 years old. I thought he would be good for Rumble, but I decided to go against him and not choose him. And who else? Derek Chisora was the other name that I wrote down. 6'1", 6'1" and a half, 74-inch reach, 33 years old. Okay, so those are my picks. And again, my card from beginning to end: John Dawson versus Juan Manuel Lopez on the free televised pre-show. Okay, and the card would kick off, I would say, with Junior Dos Santos versus Eric Molina. Okay, and after that, we would have Chris Cyborg versus Cecilia Brackus. And after that, we would have Anthony Rumble Johnson against Samuel Peter. Following that, the co-main event, Roy Jones against Anderson Silva. And in the main event, which would, if I'm doing it, it would probably be either, I would say, 12 rounds, 2 minutes per round, or maybe 10 rounds, 3 minutes per round, or 8 rounds, 3 minutes per round. It would be Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor. But they would definitely have the most rounds or the longest length of fight on the card, okay, because they are the main event. Okay, and the Roy Jones Anderson Silva fight, I would say make that an 8 rounder, probably 2 or 3 minutes per round. That fight. So that's my card, guys. Let me know what you think about it, and hey, if you want to give me your card for this this super event, boxing versus MMA, let me know what your card will be, and let's talk about the potential matchups and how fun this could be. I'm telling you, UFC being part of people with this shit, man, they ought to hop in on this, man. Put some of their guys against some of these boxers. Try to strike deals and make this a super event. It would be awesome. I do not and would not see boxing going a clean sweep on this event, on this 6-fight card. Boxing going 6-0 against MMA. I bet one of these mixed martial artists will win one of these fights, at least, and that would be the intrigue of this MMA versus boxing. I think it would be tons of fun. Shit, I would pay $100 for that pay-per-view. That's what they would charge anyway. Hell, they'll give us a great undercard. So let me know what you guys think, man. I'll be checking in with you soon. Take care.